The NIGMA Empire had always believed it was untouchable. Sprawling across dozens of star systems, its fleets were unmatched, its technology advanced beyond imagination, and its leaders proud beyond reason. For centuries, the galaxy had bowed to their authority, and few dared question their might. On the capital world of Virith, a city of shimmering towers and floating spires, the NIGMA Council gathered in the Grand Hall. The room hummed with a quiet energy, the kind that always preceded important decisions. At the center of the hall, the High Chancellor, a tall, silver-scaled alien with piercing amber eyes, raised a clawed hand for silence. "Today," the Chancellor said, his voice echoing against the polished walls, "we discuss a message from the humans." A murmur rippled through the chamber. The humans. For the NIGMA, they were a curiosity at best, a minor annoyance at worst. Primitive by comparison, limited in numbers, and untested in true war against a major power. Councillor Vryn, a portly alien with a reputation for arrogance, leaned forward. "Humans," he scoffed. "What could they possibly want with us? They are nothing more than backward scavengers in the Outer Rim. Why waste time on their messages?" The Chancellor held up a claw. "Let us hear it. Judge wisely. Underestimating them could be dangerous." A holographic display activated, and an image of the human envoy appeared in the air above the council table. The envoy, tall and composed, with dark hair and piercing green eyes, stood before a backdrop of a massive human fleet. His voice was calm, even measured, but carried a weight that demanded attention. "To the leaders of the NIGMA Empire," the envoy began, "we bring you a clear message. Humanity does not seek war. We do not wish to conquer. But if provoked, we will respond with force beyond your imagination. Do not test us. Do not mistake restraint for weakness." The council members stared at the hologram, some with amusement, others with impatience. Councillor Vryn laughed, a deep, guttural sound that echoed through the chamber. "Force beyond our imagination? Ha! Have they seen our fleets? Our planet? Destroyers? Have they experienced the might of the NIGMA military? These humans speak boldly, yet they do not understand the difference between imagination and reality." Another councillor, Lethra, with sleek dark scales and a sharp gaze, frowned. "They are not bluffing. Our intelligence reports suggest humans have been secretly developing technology far beyond what we expected. Their warships are massive, their AI-controlled drones highly advanced. If these reports are accurate, they could cause significant losses if we attack without caution." Vryn waved a claw dismissively. "Caution? They are humans. We have faced far superior enemies before. A few hidden weapons cannot compare to the might of the NIGMA Empire. We will show them our power. They will learn respect, through fear, if necessary." The envoy's message continued on the hologram. "We urge you to consider carefully your actions. Aggression toward us will be met not with negotiation, but with decisive retaliation. We have prepared for many eventualities. This is your final warning." The room fell silent. The message was clear. Humanity was not naive, and they were not weak. Chancellor's amber eyes narrowed. "They speak boldly. They claim they are prepared. But how much can a species truly accomplish? They are scattered across a few worlds, limited in resources, and yet they make such threats. Vryn, you believe caution unnecessary?" Vryn smirked. "High Chancellor, caution is for those who fear. We do not fear humans. Their words are empty. Let them speak. Let them threaten. Soon, they will learn the cost of defiance." Lethra hissed softly, almost to herself. "Their fleets are unlike anything we have seen. Our spies report hidden ships, capable of destruction we cannot yet fully understand. This is not a species we can afford to underestimate." Vryn leaned back in his chair, unbothered. "We do not underestimate. We calculate. And our calculations show the humans are insignificant. The sooner we strike, the sooner the galaxy will remember why the NIGMA Empire rules all. Chancellor's gaze lingered on the human envoy's image, studying the calm determination in his eyes. For a moment, doubt flickered. The humans were clever, adaptable. They had survived against predators far greater than themselves. But doubt was dangerous. The NIGMA Empire had never hesitated, never faltered, and the Council prided itself on that. Very well, the Chancellor said finally. We will proceed, as you advise, Vryn. Prepare the fleet. We strike the Outer Rim human colonies at dawn. Let them see the might of the NIGMA Empire firsthand. Their warnings are noted, but ignored. A wave of excitement spread through the council chamber. The NIGMA leaders had spoken. They were confident. They were ready. They did not know how wrong they would be. Far across the galaxy, on a hidden human planet shielded from prying eyes and sensors, the human fleet commander stood on the bridge of the flagship Resolute. Massive warships filled the orbit, each one a testament to human ingenuity, discipline, and resilience. Sir, an officer said, pointing to a glowing holographic display. We have detected unusual movement in the Outer Rim. The NIGMA fleet is mobilizing faster than expected. The commander, a tall man with steely eyes and a calm demeanor, nodded. They have chosen to ignore our warning, he said quietly. Let them come. Let them see what humanity is capable of. Around him, the crew moved with precision. Engineers monitored energy output, gunners calibrated targeting systems, and pilots ran simulations of the incoming attack. Humanity had waited for this moment for decades. They had known the galaxy would one day test them. They were ready. Prepare. The fleets for immediate deployment, the commander ordered. Activate stealth protocols and maintain full readiness. We will not strike first, but we will be unstoppable if attacked. He turned to a senior officer. Send a final communication to the NIGMA fleet. Make it clear. Humanity does not seek war, but we will respond with everything we have. Let them understand the choice is theirs. Respect or destruction. The officer nodded, tapping a few commands. Across space, the message would reach the NIGMA fleet, an echo of warning that, in the NIGMA minds, would likely be ignored. Meanwhile, on Verith, the NIGMA fleets assembled. Thousands of ships, sleek and deadly, formed formations that had crushed countless enemies before. The air in the fleet command centers buzzed with confidence. Generals and admirals discussed strategies, dismissing warnings as fear. The humans were primitive, after all. Yet even as they prepared, whispers of unease drifted through the ranks. Some officers had seen glimpses of the humans' secret technology through spies and reconnaissance. They had witnessed unusual warship designs, strange energy signatures, and AI-controlled drones that acted with terrifying autonomy, but these concerns were quickly drowned by the louder voices of arrogance. "Fear not," Admiral Corrin said, his voice booming over the bridge of his flagship. "We are the NIGMA Empire. None can withstand our might. These humans will bend before us, or they will be crushed." In human space, the commander's eyes never left the starfield. He knew the NIGMA Empire was confident, but confidence was a weakness. Humans had survived against overwhelming odds before, adapting, innovating, and overcoming. They would do so again. The stars stretched endlessly ahead, silent witnesses to the brewing storm. Humanity waited, patient and disciplined, while the NIGMA Empire charged forward with arrogance, blind to the danger. The stage was set for a confrontation that would shake the galaxy, a clash of pride, strategy, and hidden power. For now, all that could be done was wait. Wait for the NIGMA fleets to arrive, and let history decide who underestimated whom. The human commander finally turned from the viewport, facing his officers with calm determination. "Remember this," he said. "We are not just defending our worlds. We are showing the galaxy what humanity is. Let them learn the cost of arrogance, Let them remember that when they are told not to provoke us, they are warned for a reason. Far away, the NIGMA Empire continued its preparations, unaware that every arrogant calculation, every dismissive gesture, brought them closer to disaster. Humanity's patience would not last forever, and when the first shots were fired, the galaxy would witness the power of a species that had always been underestimated and never broken. The human envoy's message had been clear, and the NIGMA Empire had chosen to ignore it. Soon they would pay the price. The human planet of Arcadia Prime sat hidden at the edge of the galaxy. Its surface was covered with sprawling cities, vast forests, and massive shielded shipyards, invisible to even the most advanced alien sensors. Here, humanity built its true strength in silence. For decades, they had quietly prepared, knowing the day might come when the galaxy would test them. On the main command deck of the flagship Resolute, Admiral Kale stood, surveying the fleet through a giant viewport. Around him, humans worked with precision, each movement a part of a larger, flawless symphony. Warships larger than many cities rested in orbit, shielded by advanced cloaking fields, each one capable of destruction unimaginable to those who had. Never faced humanity in war. Status report, Kale said, his voice calm but commanding. Commander Lyra, standing beside him, tapped a holographic display. All fleets are operational, sir. AI-controlled drones are synchronized and ready. Weapon systems are fully charged. Stealth protocols are active. The humans in the colonies are prepared for evacuation if needed. But our primary plan is to engage and neutralize any threat without unnecessary civilian casualties. Kale nodded. Good. The NIGMA Empire is mobilizing. Their arrogance blinds them. But we know better. They believe our warnings are empty threats. Let them believe it. The moment they strike, they will see the truth. Lyra hesitated for a moment, her eyes scanning the data streams. Sir, the scale of our arsenal is immense. Even with their fleet size, the NIGMA will not survive the initial engagement. But, she paused, choosing her words carefully. Their attacks may force us to reveal more than we planned. Kale's gaze remained steady. If they force our hand, they will face the consequences. Humanity does not threaten without reason, but when provoked, we respond decisively. This is why we have trained, built, and prepared. Remember, Lyra, our patience is a weapon, and our restraint is a choice. Once they strike, there will be no turning back. Far from Arcadia Prime, in the outer rim where human colonies spread across isolated star systems, NIGMA scouts prowled, silently. Their sensors were advanced, but they could not detect the human fleet hidden behind cloaking shields and planetary defenses. The NIGMA believed their intelligence was complete, yet they were blind to the true scale of human power. On Arcadia Prime, massive shipyards stretched across the planet's surface, connected by orbital elevators and magnetic transport lines. Here, engineers worked day and night, constructing enormous warships capable of annihilating entire fleets. These ships were not only huge, they were adaptive. Human engineers had designed them with advanced AI that could analyze enemy tactics in real time, adapt, and counter almost any strategy the NIGMA might use. In one hangar, a colossal vessel, the Vanguard of Dawn, hovered on magnetic levitation fields. Its hull gleamed like polished obsidian, adorned with intricate energy conduits and weapon turrets that could launch planetary bombardments. Kale walked along the bridge inspecting the final systems. These weapons, he said softly, will not fire unless the NIGMA makes the first mistake. They are for defense, yes, but if they strike, they will learn why humanity never underestimates an enemy. Engineer Jaro, a specialist in AI integration, approached Kale. Sir, the drones are fully operational. Each one can operate independently or in swarms controlled by a single human officer. Their efficiency is unmatched, and their targeting algorithms improve with every simulated engagement. Kyle nodded. Excellent. The NIGMA will face the combined intelligence of our best minds and the precision of our technology. Let them underestimate us. They always do. Meanwhile, on the outskirts of human space, a scout ship detected movement in the distance. Hundreds of NIGMA vessels were converging toward the human colonies. The NIGMA believed they were about to crush a primitive enemy. They did not know that humanity had already prepared multiple defensive layers, strategic ambush points, and traps designed to break even the most advanced fleets. On board the Resolute, Kale activated a large tactical display showing the approaching NIGMA forces. "They move with confidence," he said. "They do not know what awaits them. Their arrogance blinds them to reality." Lyra leaned over the display. "Sir, if they continue at this pace, they will enter our prepared zones within hours. Shall we engage or wait for them to commit further?" Kyle considered for a moment. "We wait. Patience is our advantage. Let them reveal their strategy. The moment they believe they are in control, we will strike with precision. Every move they make will lead them closer to defeat." In the human research labs, scientists monitored new energy weapons, shielding systems, and hyper-advanced propulsion technologies. One of the most crucial innovations was the human fleet's stealth cloak, capable of hiding ships not only from sensors, but from conventional visual detection in space. The NIGMA had never seen technology like this, and it would give humanity the element of surprise they needed. Dr. Alara, head of weapon systems, demonstrated a new plasma array to Kale. "Admiral, these weapons can penetrate any conventional shields the NIGMA deploys. The array can adjust power output automatically to match the defenses of each target. Their fleet will not survive a concentrated strike." Kale nodded, impressed, but composed. "We do not seek unnecessary destruction, Dr. Alara, but when provoked, we will respond decisively. This is the strength of humanity: control, precision, and overwhelming capability." The human envoy, who had delivered the warning, stood silently nearby, observing the preparation. His calm demeanor contrasted with the tension and energy of the fleet. He had seen enough to know the humans were ready, and he trusted Kale and his team completely. Back on Virith, the NIGMA Empire remained blind to the full truth. The Council had approved the attack, convinced of an easy victory. NIGMA admirals reviewed tactical simulations that underestimated human strength. They assumed human colonies were lightly defended and that their strike would crush resistance quickly. Admiral Corin, leading the NIGMA Armada, was confident. "We move swiftly," he told his officers. "We will show them the power of the NIGMA Empire. They will learn respect, and our victory will be absolute." Yet, even among the NIGMA, there were whispers of unease. Some officers had glimpsed intelligence reports hinting at human warships far larger than expected, with energy outputs that could devastate conventional fleets. But such warnings were dismissed as exaggerations or fear-mongering. Pride and arrogance were stronger than caution. In orbit around Arcadia Prime, human fleets deployed their first line of drones, silently moving into stealth positions. The drones were small but fast, capable of disabling enemy ships or relaying targeting information across vast distances. Each one was a small piece of a vast, coordinated system designed to respond to the NIGMA's every move. Kale watched the movements carefully. "Every drone in position?" "All ready, sir," Lyra confirmed. "Stealth protocols active. Targeting systems synced. The NIGMA cannot detect us yet. They will think they have the advantage." Kale smiled faintly. "Let them think. Confidence makes them predictable. And predictability is a weakness we can exploit." Hours passed as the NIGMA fleet approached. From the human perspective, it was a tense calm, like the moment before a storm hits land. Every system was monitored, every ship prepared. Human commanders communicated in concise, clear commands, their training evident in every gesture. Finally, the first NIGMA vessels crossed into the outer rim of human territory. Their sensors still failed to detect the cloaked human fleets, and their officers were confident. They believed the humans had nothing to oppose them. Kyle observed the incoming fleet on the tactical display. "They are here," he said softly. "Soon they will realize their mistake. Prepare the first defensive measures. Stealth drones, deploy in Sector 7, activate countermeasures, and relay targeting data. Let them see the strength of humanity for the first time." The crew moved with precision, executing orders flawlessly. In the shadows of space, hidden from view, humanity waited for the NIGMA to reveal themselves fully. They did not seek war, but they would not be weak in the face of aggression. At that moment, the human envoy sent one last message through secure channels to the approaching fleet. It was short, direct, and impossible to ignore. "You have been warned. Humanity does not seek war. If you continue, you will face the consequences." The NIGMA fleet ignored it, interpreting it as bluffing, as they had ignored previous warnings. They would soon learn that underestimating humanity was the gravest mistake they could make. As the first NIGMA ships crossed into range, the hidden human fleets waited. Patience had been their weapon, and now it was time to use it. Every ship, every drone, every weapon system was ready. Every human officer knew their role, and every human soul aboard the fleet carried a simple, unwavering certainty. If provoked, humanity would respond. And the NIGMA Empire would learn, in the harshest possible way, why humans were never to be underestimated. The galaxy was about to witness the full extent of human ingenuity, courage, and power. And for the NIGMA, it would be a lesson they could never forget. The black void of space stretched endlessly, glittering with distant stars, but now it was filled with tension. On one side, the NIGMA fleet advanced with confidence. Hundreds of sleek, deadly vessels cut through the darkness, their weapons primed, their sensors scanning for any sign of resistance. The NIGMA Empire had calculated everything, or so they believed. On the other side, humanity waited, cloaked and silent. The massive warships of the human fleet hovered in stealth, hidden behind energy fields that masked their presence. Swarms of AI-controlled drones drifted among the stars, invisible to the enemy but ready to strike with lethal precision. Every human commander on the Resolute and the other ships knew the plan, and every crew member was ready. Admiral Kale stood on the bridge of the Resolute, calm and composed, yet every sense was alert. He could feel the moment approaching, the first sparks of confrontation that would decide the fate of entire star systems. "Stealth drones in position," Commander Lyra reported. "Sector 7 is ready. We have calculated the NIGMA fleet's approach vectors. They are overconfident, moving faster than recommended for caution. Their arrogance will make them predictable." Kale nodded. "Good. Hold fire. Let them come closer. Patience is our advantage. When they believe they are in control, they will make their first mistake." Far ahead, the NIGMA fleet moved like a storm, unaware of the hidden dangers. Admiral Corin, aboard the flagship Dread Sovereign, barked orders with confidence. "Form the wedge formation. Sensors active. Target the human colonies. They will resist, yes, but their resistance is meaningless. We are the NIGMA Empire. They will learn respect, or they will be destroyed." A junior NIGMA officer approached. Corin, slightly hesitant. "Sir, our reports suggest the humans might have more firepower than we expected. Some colonies are showing unusual energy signatures. It could be defensive systems, but—" Corin waved a claw dismissively. "Do not let fear cloud your judgment. Humans exaggerate. They will crumble like all others before us. Focus on the target and obey orders. There is no reason to hesitate." Back on Arcadia Prime, Kyle watched the incoming fleet. "They are blind to us," he said quietly. "They believe they are the hunters. Soon they will learn who is truly in control. The first NIGMA vessels crossed into the outer defense perimeter. The humans remained invisible, but the AI drones had already begun their work. Small, nearly invisible, they moved in swarms, positioning themselves around the enemy ships like invisible predators. Sensors silently mapped weak points in the NIGMA shields, energy conduits, and weapon systems. Kale gave the command. Wait for the perfect moment. Patience. Let them reveal their formations fully. Only then, strike. Minutes passed. The NIGMA fleet moved with arrogance, their confidence unshaken. They had seen no sign of resistance and assumed they would face minimal opposition, but their every movement had been anticipated. Suddenly, with precision that seemed impossible, the human fleet struck. Energy beams erupted from cloaked warships, slicing through the shields of the leading NIGMA cruisers. The attack was coordinated, fast, and devastating. Entire sections of the enemy vessels were shredded before they could even react. Drones targeted critical systems, disabling weapons and engines, leaving the NIGMA ships vulnerable. Alarm sirens blared across the NIGMA fleet. "We are under attack!" Corin roared. "Target the enemy! Engage all weapons!" But the humans remained largely unseen. Every beam, every missile, every strike came from ships that the NIGMA could not detect. Their sensors failed, their strategies crumbled, and their confidence began to shatter. On the Resolute, Kale monitored the battle. "They are panicking. Perfect. Continue the strike. Drones, focus on their forward shields, fire patterns, synchronize with main weapons. We will take no unnecessary lives, but we will teach them the lesson they refuse to heed." In the chaos of space, NIGMA ships collided, attempting to avoid the invisible threats. Energy shields flared and collapsed. Massive explosions lit the void, and debris floated silently among the stars. Officers tried to adjust, but every movement had been anticipated. Humans were not just fighting. They were controlling the battlefield with strategy, intelligence, and calm precision. Admiral Corin's eyes widened as his flagship shook from a sudden, devastating strike. "Impossible!" he shouted. "How can they—" A human AI drone struck the final blow to one of his lead cruisers, disabling its main engines and weapons. "We are ghosts," Kale said quietly, almost to himself. And ghosts cannot be ignored. Meanwhile, communication channels in the NIGMA fleet were filled with panic. Officers shouted orders, but they were too late. The human fleet moved as one, adaptive and intelligent, exploiting every weakness. Every ship that fired returned damage, far beyond expectation. Lyra turned to Kale. "Sir, they are requesting reinforcements from deeper sectors. They still do not know the full scale of our fleet. Shall we reveal more?" Kale shook his head. "No. Let them destroy themselves on the battlefield of their own arrogance. Every second they waste, they fall further into our trap. Humanity does not reveal its full strength until necessary. Patience, Lyra. Patience." In the middle of the chaos, a young NIGMA officer realized the magnitude of the mistake. "Sir, they are coordinating perfectly. Our fleet cannot adapt. They anticipate every maneuver. It is impossible!" Corin bellowed in rage. "Impossible! Nothing is impossible! We are the NIGMA Empire! Attack, destroy, and show no mercy." But it was too late. The humans were already everywhere, unseen, precise, and deadly. NIGMA ships fell one by one, exploding in brilliant flashes that reflected against the darkness of space. The screams of alarms and frantic orders echoed across the fleet, but the humans remained calm, professional, and in control. Kyle watched a simulation of the battlefield unfold on the display. "Target their command ship," he said. "Disable without unnecessary destruction. Let them know who leads, who follows, and who underestimated whom." On board the Dread Sovereign, Corin realized the humans had breached his defenses. His fleet was fragmented, his officers panicking, and the humans. They had barely even revealed themselves. The arrogance of the NIGMA Empire was crumbling in real time. A drone swarm struck the command ship's engines, disabling movement and weapons simultaneously. Corrin roared in fury. "No! How can this happen? We are the NIGMA Empire! Retreat! Regroup! Attack!" But retreat was no longer an option. Every maneuver they attempted had been anticipated, countered, and neutralized. Humans were not merely defending, they were orchestrating a masterpiece of strategy. Kale finally gave the order. "Reveal the Vanguard of Dawn. Focus fire on the command ship. Disable it completely, but no unnecessary civilian casualties in nearby colonies. Let this be a demonstration of our power, and nothing more." The massive warship emerged from stealth, enormous and gleaming. Its weapons fired in a coordinated strike, overwhelming the command ship's weakened shields. Corrin's flagship shuddered. Under the attack, systems failing one by one. On board the Resolute, Kale allowed himself a small nod. "Message delivered," he said. "We warned them. They refused to listen. Now they see why humanity is never underestimated." The battle continued, but the outcome was clear. The NIGMA fleet was in chaos, their arrogance shattered, and their pride destroyed. Entire cruisers drifted lifeless in space, explosions lighting the darkness like fireworks, each one a testament to humanity's skill, patience, and preparation. Meanwhile, across the human fleet, officers and crew maintained calm. They were not celebrating destruction. They were fulfilling a duty, defending their species, their worlds, and proving a simple truth to the galaxy. Humanity, when provoked, was unstoppable. Even as the NIGMA scrambled to regroup, their leadership faced a sobering reality. Their numbers, confidence, and past victories counted for nothing against humans who combined intelligence, strategy, and technology in perfect harmony. Kale turned to Lyra. "Send a message to their remaining ships. One line simple. Let them know who rules this engagement." She tapped a few commands, and across space, the words reached the shattered remnants of the NIGMA fleet. "We warned you. Humanity does not seek war. You chose to ignore us. This is the cost of arrogance. For the first time in history, the NIGMA Empire faced an enemy that could not be underestimated, an enemy that combined resilience, intelligence, and overwhelming force. The humans had proven themselves, not through numbers, not through raw aggression, but through patience, preparation, and tactical brilliance. As the battle settled into a tense silence, Kyle looked at the starfield beyond the viewport. The first strike was a warning, a lesson, and a promise. Humanity had not revealed all its power, but the NIGMA now understood one undeniable fact. To provoke humans was to invite disaster. The NIGMA Empire had never faced such humiliation. Their pride, forged over centuries of conquest, now cracked under the weight of reality. The remnants of their once proud fleet drifted through space, crippled, burning, and leaderless. Signals of panic and confusion spread from ship to ship as the humans remained unseen yet in full control of the battlefield. On Vireth, the NIGMA capital, the council convened in emergency. High Chancellor Terran, silver scales dull and eyes dim with worry, slammed a claw onto the council table. "Report," he demanded. "How did this happen? How could humanity, a species we dismissed as insignificant, destroy our fleet so easily?" Counselor Vryn, who had advocated for aggression from the start, shifted nervously. It seems their technology. It is unlike anything we expected. Our ships could not penetrate their defenses, and our weapons were neutralized almost immediately." They anticipated every move," Counselor Lethra hissed, her usual confidence gone. "High Chancellor, this is worse than we feared. Their AI-controlled drones, their massive warships, and their coordinated tactics. It is as if they are always one step ahead. They do not act recklessly. They do not panic. They are perfect. In their execution, the Chancellor leaned back, taking a deep breath. We cannot underestimate them any longer. Humanity, they are not the primitive species we believed. They are something else, something we have ignored at our peril. Outside the capital, across the galaxy, the human fleet was reorganizing. The first engagement had been a clear demonstration of power. But Kale knew this was only the beginning. Humanity had shown its strength. Now it was time to seize the initiative. Admiral, Lyra said, her eyes scanning the displays. Our tactical networks show remaining NIGMA forces attempting to retreat. They are disorganized but still dangerous. Shall we pursue? Kale's jaw tightened. Yes, but carefully. Let them think they have a chance to regroup. We will strike where it hurts most: command structures, supply lines, and key installations. Humanity does not destroy for pleasure, but we will remove the ability of the NIGMA to challenge us again. In space, the remaining NIGMA fleets were attempting to flee toward home systems. Panic had spread through the ranks. Officers shouted orders, but confusion reigned. One vessel would veer left, another right. Collisions narrowly avoided. The humans, however, moved like shadows, striking precisely, disabling engines and weapons before the NIGMA could react. On board the Resolute, Kale observed a NIGMA admiral trying to rally his forces. They still resist, he said calmly. Good. Resistance will teach them the cost of arrogance. Prepare long-range interdiction. Let's cut off their retreat. Drones surged ahead in synchronized waves, forming invisible barriers across key hyperspace lanes. They disabled navigation systems, leaving NIGMA ships stranded and vulnerable. The humans' superior coordination and foresight created an almost impenetrable net, ensuring no vessel could escape unscathed. Meanwhile, in the NIGMA capital, the Council debated their next move. Some argued for surrender, for diplomacy. We cannot rebuild this fleet quickly enough, Lythra said. If we continue to resist, humanity will not stop. Our systems, our worlds, our people, they will all fall unless we yield. Vryn spat, angered. Surrender? Never. We are the NIGMA. Empire! No species, no matter how clever, will dictate terms to us. We strike back. We will rally what remains and crush these humans. The Chancellor's eyes were dark with thought. Your pride blinds you, Vryn. They are not merely clever. They are organized, adaptive, and merciless when provoked. If we continue this path, the Empire may not survive. The argument continued, but the cracks were clear. Fear had entered the NIGMA leadership, splitting them. Some advocated retreat and negotiation. Others, like Vryn, clung to the illusion of power. Humanity's first strike had not only destroyed ships, it had fractured confidence and unity at the highest levels. Far in space, Kale prepared for the next phase. We will not destroy for vengeance, he said. We will destroy what must be destroyed to ensure peace. Target NIGMA command vessels. Disable. Do not annihilate civilian ships. Precision is key. Let them understand that humanity fights with honor as well as power. The human fleet moved with unerring precision. Command ships and key NIGMA installations were struck with accuracy. That left no room for escape. Entire fleets were neutralized without unnecessary casualties, a demonstration of skill and discipline that terrified those who survived. On board one of the disabled NIGMA vessels, a junior officer whispered to his captain, fear evident in his voice. Sir, we cannot escape. They anticipate everything. They are unlike anything we have faced before. The captain, usually bold and commanding, could only nod. We underestimated them. That was our mistake. We should have listened to the warnings. Indeed, across space, humanity's message had been clear from the beginning. Do not provoke us. But arrogance had blinded the NIGMA Empire, and now they were paying the price. Kale ordered drones to sweep the remaining areas near the outer rim. Ensure no hostile ships remain capable of fleeing or regrouping. If they attempt to rebuild, we will be ready. Humanity does not wait until the enemy grows strong again. We act decisively when necessary. The NIGMA fleets were scattered, communication broken, and morale destroyed. The human strategy was not mere retaliation. It was an orchestration of calculated pressure designed to dismantle the enemy systematically. Each move demonstrated the superiority of human intelligence and unity, while the NIGMA struggled to maintain cohesion. Back on Virith, the Council watched as reports streamed in from across the galaxy. Entire fleets had been neutralized. Key installations crippled, and the once mighty empire lay in chaos. Fear and doubt replaced arrogance in the eyes of many leaders. High Chancellor Terran finally spoke, his voice heavy with the weight of realization. Humanity is not merely a species. They are a force of nature. Their patience, discipline, and strategy, we cannot match it with arrogance alone. We ignored the warning, and now we face near destruction. Some counselors bowed their heads, accepting reality. Others, like Vryn, seethed with anger but could not argue against the undeniable evidence. Humanity had proven itself not through brute force alone, but through intelligence, preparation, and unwavering resolve. Meanwhile, in the human fleet, Kale watched the remnants of the NIGMA fleets retreat toward home systems. They will regroup, Lyra noted, but they will think twice before striking again. Kyle nodded. Exactly. Humanity does not strike without reason. But when provoked, we strike with clarity, precision, and overwhelming force. This was only the first demonstration. The galaxy will remember today. The NIGMA Empire will remember that humans cannot be underestimated. Across the stars, signals of surrender began to trickle in from isolated NIGMA commanders. Some had seen the destruction and knew resistance was futile. Others were unsure, caught between loyalty and fear. But the message was clear. The first strike had shattered more than fleets. It had shattered arrogance itself. Kale turned to Lyra, his expression firm. Prepare for the next phase. We secure the outer rim, protect our colonies, and ensure no remnants of the NIGMA fleet regroup. Humanity will not conquer blindly, but we will defend decisively. And if they choose to rebuild, they will face the full might of our preparation. As night fell across Arcadia Prime, the human fleet remained vigilant. Every officer, every crew member knew that victory came not from hatred or desire for power, but from discipline, unity, and preparation. Humanity had faced a threat that many had believed unbeatable, and they had responded with skill, precision, and honor. For the NIGMA Empire, the first strike had been a turning point, a moment when pride collapsed, fear spread, and hope faded. The humans had shown their power not with chaos, but with strategy. They had proven that arrogance could be fatal, that patience and intelligence could overcome even the most confident enemy. The galaxy would never forget the day the humans fought back, and the NIGMA Empire learned the cost of ignoring a warning. Kale looked out at the stars, calm and resolute. Humanity had shown restraint, humanity had shown power, and humanity had set the stage for the final lessons the galaxy would learn. Never underestimate the species that had been told clearly not to be provoked. The remnants of the NIGMA Empire's fleet drifted aimlessly in the outer rim, broken and leaderless. Silence hung over the ships like a heavy shroud. Communication was sporadic, and the surviving officers could barely coordinate any kind of organized retreat. The human fleet, however, moved with quiet precision, closing the net around every surviving NIGMA vessel. On board the Resolute, Admiral Kale watched the tactical display, calm and deliberate. "This is the final phase," he said. "The NIGMA Empire has learned nothing from the first strike. Now we make sure they understand the full consequence of provoking humanity. Lyra, prepare the communication networks. Every NIGMA command, ship must receive our message. Make it clear. No ambiguity, no excuses. Commander Lyra tapped commands, her hands moving with practiced efficiency. Message prepared, sir. Should I send it now? Kyle nodded. Yes, and make sure it reaches every ship. Every commander should hear it directly from us. This is not destruction for the sake of vengeance. It is a lesson in respect and restraint. Meanwhile, across the scattered fleet, NIGMA officers were scrambling desperately to regain control. Some tried to regroup their remaining ships. Others attempted to flee back to the inner systems. Fear had replaced arrogance in their hearts, but fear without understanding only worsened chaos. Admiral Corinne, now isolated aboard the Dread Sovereign, slammed his clawed hands against the console. Impossible! How can a species so small and insignificant destroy our fleets with such precision? They are beyond calculation. A junior officer, trembling, tried to speak. Sir, maybe we underestimated them. Perhaps we should surrender? Corinne's amber eyes blazed with anger. Surrender? Never! We are the NIGMA Empire. Do not speak of surrender. Fight! Regain honor! But there was no honor left. Every strategic move they attempted was anticipated. Every maneuver countered. Every escape blocked. Humanity had not just defeated them. They had orchestrated a demonstration of total control, showing the NIGMA Empire that pride without wisdom was fatal. Kale's voice came over the comms, calm yet commanding. NIGMA commanders, listen carefully. Humanity does not seek war. We warned you before, but you ignored it. Your arrogance has cost you fleets, systems, and pride. This is your final warning. Cease all aggression, retreat, and acknowledge the strength of our species. Further provocation will result in complete destruction. Humanity does not underestimate, and humanity does not forgive. The message spread like wildfire across the NIGMA ranks. Panic, confusion, and disbelief rippled through the fleet. Some officers stared at the comm panels, shaking, unable to respond. Others, like Corinne, fumed, but knew deep down that continued. Resistance was futile. On board the Resolute, Kyle turned to Lyra. Watch their response carefully. Some will attempt to negotiate, others may still resist. Either way, we maintain full readiness. Our goal is not only to stop them, but to ensure they never make the same mistake again. Indeed, responses began to come in. Several NIGMA ships immediately initiated surrender protocols, lowering shields and signaling compliance. Others attempted desperate attacks, only to be intercepted and neutralized with minimal force, demonstrating human control without unnecessary destruction. Kyle allowed himself a small nod. Good. Let them understand that resistance is futile, but restraint is possible when respect is shown. Far away on Vereth, the NIGMA Council convened again, this time in complete chaos. Reports streamed in of fleets destroyed, systems crippled, and officers surrendering. Fear and realization replaced arrogance in the eyes of the council members. High Chancellor Terran's silver scales shone dimly under the chamber lights. His voice was steady but carried the weight of defeat. We ignored the warning. We underestimated humanity. We have lost not just fleets, but the illusion of our supremacy. The humans, they are beyond anything we imagined. We cannot fight them conventionally. We must negotiate, and we must learn humility. Counselor Vryn, prideful and stubborn, shook with anger. Negotiate? With humans? Impossible! We are the NIGMA Empire. We cannot bow to them. Lethra's gaze was sharp. Vryn, look at the facts. Our fleets lie in ruins. Command structures are paralyzed. We are fractured. If we continue this path, humanity will not just destroy our fleet. They will come for the capital itself. You call it impossible. I call it inevitable. The Chancellor nodded solemnly. Prepare the delegation. We will communicate with the humans. We will accept their terms, and we will learn from this lesson. Perhaps in time, the NIGMA Empire can survive, but only if we respect the species we were told not to provoke. In space, Kyle observed the NIGMA fleets surrendering or retreating under human guidance. Send the peace protocols, he ordered. Ensure that all NIGMA ships understand their position clearly. Humanity does not seek vengeance, only respect and safety. Let them rebuild only under terms that prevent future aggression. We will show strength, but also fairness. The human fleet moved with care, neutralizing threats without destroying lives unnecessarily. Fleets that surrendered were escorted to safe zones. Command ships that resisted briefly were disabled with precision strikes, leaving them functional but incapable of causing further harm. The demonstration of power combined with mercy left the NIGMA stunned. On board a surrendered NIGMA vessel, an officer whispered to his captain, awe and fear evident. Sir, they could have destroyed us entirely. Every ship, every system, and yet they stopped when we complied. Why? The captain, shaken, replied, because they are disciplined. They are not just powerful. They are different. They do not destroy for pleasure. They destroy only when necessary. We misjudged them. Back on Arcadia Prime, Kale addressed his officers. Today, humanity has defended its people, its colonies, and its honor. We have shown that arrogance has consequences and that intelligence, preparation, and unity are unmatched. The NIGMA Empire will remember this day, and the galaxy will take note. Let this be the final lesson. Humanity must never be underestimated. Lyra turned to Kale, a hint of a smile on her face. Sir, the NIGMA are compliant now. They are sending all necessary signals of surrender and requesting communication channels for negotiation. Kale nodded. Good. Humanity does not seek conquest. We seek security, respect, and peace. But make no mistake, any future provocation will meet the same precision and force we displayed today. Let the galaxy know the cost of arrogance. In the Outer Rim, the surviving NIGMA officers prepared transmissions. Some apologized, some pleaded, but all acknowledged the overwhelming power and discipline of humanity. For the first time in their history, the NIGMA Empire truly understood that they had underestimated a species they thought primitive, small, and inconsequential. On Vyreth, the Chancellor addressed the Council one final time. We have been humbled. Humanity has shown us what we could not imagine. Strength paired with wisdom, power combined with restraint. Let this lesson guide the NIGMA Empire forward. Never again will we provoke the species we were warned against. We have been taught the cost of arrogance. Back in human space, Admiral Kale watched as the fleet slowly returned to patrol positions, maintaining vigilance while allowing the NIGMA to recover under controlled conditions. Humanity had delivered its final message. Strength, tempered with wisdom, is the ultimate power. Kyle turned to Lyra and the senior officers. Today, we have not just defended humanity. We have sent a message to the entire galaxy. Let it be clear. Humans are disciplined, strategic, and not to be provoked. We act with precision, patience, and fairness. Let that be remembered. The crew, weary but proud, looked out at the stars, knowing that humanity had changed the course of history. Entire fleets had been defeated, arrogance shattered, and respect earned, not through mindless violence, but through intelligence, preparation, and unwavering resolve. And far across the galaxy, from the shattered NIGMA fleets to the capital on Vyreth, a single truth echoed through every officer and citizen. Humanity had been warned. Humanity had been provoked. And humanity had responded. The galaxy would never forget it. The stars were silent witnesses to the day the NIGMA Empire learned its final lesson, and humanity's patience, skill, and strength became the standard by which all would measure power. The humans did not celebrate destruction. They celebrated survival, discipline, and honor. And in that calm, measured strength lay the greatest message of all. Humanity, when provoked, could not be defeated. The galaxy would remember the day the UI arrogant were humbled, the warned were ignored, and the underestimated became legends. Humanity had spoken,